Hi, this is Jacob Allen with AEP 880 Mod 10. First piece was to summarize the four provided articles. First one being the three essential priorities. A was to emphasize caring and inclusive environment. B was to equip staff to embrace leadership roles using their gifts. C was to collaborate with your community, seeing if there's anyone out there that can help you crack down on bullying. Next up is feeling respected. A was to teachers view respect as compliance. So this was a poll taken. And then students view respect as humanity, meaning they want to be heard, and that's how they feel like respect should be done in schools. Next in that article was that students work harder when they're respected, is what was found out. And then as far as good discipline goes, students want to be listened to. They don't feel like they're listened to in relation to discipline. So the next article was creating a warm environment. Warm environment can increase student ability. The physical space should also be warm. That can be as simple as painting the room the right colors and also decorating your space to be friendlier. This space should be organized and neat. Desks should be arranged so that it's inviting to students. It's not in rows, but it's still somewhere arranged so that teacher can move throughout students. You should also, as a suggestion, keep traditions in your room that students look forward to. They suggested singing a song at the end of the day, so that'd be probably more of an elementary school example. Next would be to include meetings in your classroom that you can use in order to manage behavior when something might go wrong, where you can all bring it to the class and talk through things. Next was the strategies for building a productive environment. A is to make learning relevant so that students will be connected during your lessons and not think about bullying or wanting to have free time in order for bad things to happen. Next is to make a code of conduct. They suggested that being at the beginning of the year, and in order to have students help you with that. Next is to employ positive actions in your room. And then following that was developing intrinsic motivation, teaching your students how to self-motivate. Then reinforcing positive behaviors, and then you can also help this by always responding positively. So a lot of this is put on by the teacher of just positive reinforcement. Next was me finding four articles. First one I had was from NEA. It's the 10 steps to prevention of bullying. Step 1 was to pay attention. Step 2 was don't ignore any sort of bullying. Step C is when you see something, act on it. Step 4 was to remain calm. Step 5 was to deal with students individually. And then after that, you're going to not want to make students apologize or shake hands. You have to let them determine if that's something they feel like is a proper outcome. Next, hold your bystanders accountable. Let them know that shouldn't fly in your environment, that they should also be not letting that happen. Next would be to listen to your students and don't prejudge the situation. You don't necessarily know what happened. Following that, you're going to get professional help, and that might be a counselor, that might be an administrator, whoever might need to be involved. And then lastly, you're going to get trained to handle bullying situations yourself. The following article I had was bullying prevention. 5 steps on this one was to focus on the small stuff. Again, don't let small things go. Actions, you can sniff out situations if you're watching in the hallway and seeing the small things that go on. Next, consider the stage of development. Bullying looks different at different ages. After that, pay attention to children who might be targets, students who might be easy targets. The example they brought up was transgendered students might be easy targets for bullying. Next one that's sort of blocked is to pay attention to the potential bullies, because they're more likely to do it. They suggested somebody around a popular group might be more willing to bully to try to gain that social acceptance. Now, the following article I had was a program about the 3 bold steps to bullying prevention. They had it again, just 3. So first was to partner up, find who's going to help you with your bullying plan at your school. Step B was to plan how you're going to attack bullying, and then step 3 was to actually act on the bullying. My following article was 6 ways educators can prevent bullying. Step 1 was to teach kindness and empathy to your students. Next up would be to create opportunities for connection between students. So team building types of things. Number 3, identify gateway behaviors, things that will lead to bullying. Number 4 is going to be use arts to create context. So what they meant by that was to use arts or media to create conversations about bullying that might not be as direct. Next is to minimize concentric circles in school. When they brought that one up, they were talking about how even teachers can bully, and that not to bring bullying, that you got bullied or you might be doing bullying, don't bring that into your classroom. And then lastly was to participate in simulations. This was also teacher focused, to bring teachers through bullying situations and see how they would respond to students. Next we have the bullying breakdown, which with on the left is where it happens the most. You see classroom, hallway, cafeteria, gym, bathroom, playground. On the right-hand side, we have the types of bullying that happen: name calling, teasing, spreading rumors or lies, pushing or shoving, hitting, slapping, leaving out, threatening, stealing, blogging, sexual comments or gestures, email blogging. And then next, we were to explain which procedures and policies are missing if various types of bullying is happening at different locations in the school. So for locations, it's about making sure you have staff members in the right place and that those staff members know, don't let little things go. Don't let name calling and teasing go and spreading of lies. That's where it will go wrong. We saw that. Hopefully your teachers also have trained your students in order to be more positive people in your schools. And hopefully the environment at your school has been made positive in order to combat the happening of these types of bullying. And then next question kind of lends itself to the previous one, which is what happens to various types of bullying in locations when several steps have been taken to follow the standards that were embedded for the module. So the majority of it was two-part: understanding what bullying can do or positive environment can do, and then having plans in order to act on that. So if those things happen, what hopefully your outcome will be is that you reduce the bullying that's happening at your school and you have just a positive school environment. So that is hopefully what would happen if you have understood the modules and standards. And then lastly, those are my references. Thank you for listening.